What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Wolfcrier here, and let's talk Diablo 3. They've recently announced the patch notes for patch 2.6.10 for the upcoming PTR, which is going to begin on October 1st. There's a bunch of changes to legendary affixes, as well as a brand new legendary item, the always present buffs for certain sets, and 2 portions of a seasonal theme, which we will get to in just a moment. First thing I want to talk about is Season 21. As most of you know, I was not a huge fan of Season 21, and I hope that that type of content isn't something that's going to be done on a regular basis. I prefer seasons that involve player choices and player skills and ability being the primary drive in greater rift pushing and grouping and that sort of thing. Season 21 and its intended mechanic of allowing you to leave your group and then rejoin your group to get maximum benefit of the buff was something that was a turnoff for me. It's pretty much why I stopped playing Season 21. In that season, I was able to push the brand new Necromancer set with that Bone Spear build up to a Greater Rift 120 before I left within the first 3 weeks. There are changes coming to that build, which is very exciting in this upcoming patch, but I want to let you guys know that I will be back for Season 22, definitely, along with my charity drive level with a cause, of course, as always. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on where I've been. But now let's talk about patch 2.6.10 and its amazing changes that are coming to the game. This is something that is going to be very interesting, as there are 2 aspects of the seasonal theme for Season 22. The first being, whenever you click a pylon or a shrine, it will spawn a shadow of your character class. There are 3 complete separate builds for each character class that can spawn when you trigger a pylon or a shrine within the game. So that is the first aspect of the seasonal theme, which sounds very interesting and still adds that little element of difference when it comes to playing the game and a possible bonus to your character. These will be scaled off of your characters and will last for 1 minute once you touch that pylon or shrine, or until you die. But the second aspect of this seasonal theme is going to be a 4th slot in the Knai's Cube, which sounds very interesting because this 4th slot can contain any legendary affix from any of the other 3 slots that are currently available. You cannot double up on powers. You can't have 2 of the same weapons, 1 in your weapon slot and 1 in the 4th power slot. Now, this PTR is going to run for 2 weeks, with the first week being focused entirely on the changes to the gear, and the second week they are going to introduce the seasonal theme. So it gives you an idea of how it's going to be in standard mode and seasonal mode with these changes that are coming for these legendary items. And the changes for legendary items are quite massive, ladies and gentlemen, including the brand new item Gelmindor's Marrow Guards, which is going to increase the damage of your Bone Spear cast from your simulacrums by 400 to 500%. That's pretty awesome, because the new Necromancer set that was introduced last season was a little bit lacking in terms of damage. It was still a very, very strong build. Like I said, it took me 3 weeks. Within the first 3 weeks, I was able to do a Greater Rift 120 solo, and that was with a very low Paragon. I think I was at like 800 or 900 Paragon when I did it, but it was not really all that difficult to get to Greater Rift 120 with the build. So with a little bit more power boost, this should put it on par with other Necromancer builds that can push a little bit higher, and this might make it the #1 Necromancer build, which I personally really enjoyed playing. It's got a good playstyle, it's nice and tanky, and it was able to deal a ton of damage. In addition to this, some of the key notables with this, I would strongly suggest reading up all of these patch notes. I can't go over every single item. I want to touch on some of the notables for me. Mantle of Channeling will revert to getting rid of that 1 second startup time before it starts taking into effect, because they had done that to avoid the Bazooka Wizard, and now they've completely and utterly changed Etched Sigil, which was another portion of that build that was causing problems and causing it to become way too powerful. Etched Sigil will now cast Energy Twister instead of whatever your current spender on your bar is. So it will no longer cast meteors. It will now always cast Energy Twister, and increased Energy Twister's damage by 200 to 250%. And Valthek's Rebuke will also gain a bonus for Energy Twister, allowing it to travel in a straight line and deal 300 to 400% increased damage, allowing the wizard to possibly return to form with an Energy Twister build, as in the days of old. They've also buffed up a few things regarding the new Hydra set. The new Hydra set itself is getting buffed, as well as a complete change to Fragment of Destiny, which will allow your signature spells to attack 50% faster and deal triple damage. And in addition to that, you gain a spectral buff whenever you land an attack with a signature spell. And you can get up to 10 of these stacks, and your Hydras will deal 25 to 30% increased damage per stack. So it looks like they are trying to buff up the Typhon set as well. Big buffs for the wizard in 2 builds that don't really make it into the meta, or haven't yet made it into the meta, or in the case of Energy Twister, was once part of the meta long ago. Sets getting a big buff are Delceray's Magnum Opus, Typhon's Veil, Nervald's Fervor, the 2-piece set for the Crusader, which allows your Steed Charge to grant 300 to 400% increased damage now instead of 100%, and this persists up to 5 seconds after you've completed Steed Charge, so this is a pretty big buff to that set. Armor of Akan, Roland's Legacy, Seeker of the Light all get buffed up, as well as Erekir's and Helltooth for the Witch Doctor. Shenlong Spirit 2-piece set is getting a buff, as well as the Innis set for the Monk. So this is going to bring back the possibility of maybe bringing Innis Generator to the forefront for the Monk. I don't know if it's going to be a big enough buff in order to change the current Monk meta, but we'll have to wait and see on that, and I will definitely be testing out the Monk, that's for sure. But I also want to check out the new Bone Spear for the Necromancer. I want to see how that works with the new items. There's several other items being changed up, and hopefully this is going to shake up the meta a little bit, especially in the 4-mans, but at least for solo. There's no changes really for Demon Hunter or Barbarian, so those are pretty safe. Hopefully these buffs and changes will bring those other classes up to where they should be as far as individual performance and possible group play. I, for one, am definitely looking forward to October 1st and jumping into the PTR and testing some of this stuff out. I will most likely be focused on Necromancer, Monk, and possibly Wizard when it comes to my personal testing, and I will most likely be streaming heavily during that time period over on Twitch, twitch.tv/wolfcrier, but I will also be putting up videos, of course, on YouTube, and over the next couple of days, I would also expect a video about Path of Exile Heist and my thoughts on it, what build I'm running over there, and what I'm looking forward to in that game as well. Expect more content, ladies and gentlemen. I do have stuff in the works, and there will be more stuff coming to this channel. I definitely want to say thank you so very much for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. I always greatly appreciate it. And definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let me know down in that comment section down below what you are looking forward to most in Season 22 of Diablo with this patch 2.6.10. What are you liking about it? What are you disliking about it? But once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much, and you all have a fantastic day. Peace.